Okay. Good evening, students. Welcome to the session 2 regarding with the GATE 2021 exam preparation. The topic of discussion today is the general aptitude. Okay. So yesterday we have discussed about some of the problems regarding with the numerical ability. So today also we will be continuing with the same. Okay. So yesterday I have given one problem. Just a minute. So you have been asked to calculate log of tan of 1, log of tan of 2 plus dot plus log of tan of 89 all divided by units. Okay. So have you calculated this one? Have you calculated that problem? Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was the answer? I guess Dheeraj Singh has given me the answer in the afternoon. So the answer is 0, right? Okay. So when you go with the rule of log a plus log b plus log c plus and so on, so you can have the multiplication of each and every term. That is log of a multiplied by b multiplied by c, and hence you have to calculate tan of one, then tan of two, tan of three, and so on. Okay. So likewise, if you calculate, then at the end of the calculation, you will get the answer one. So log of one is 0, right? So in that way, you can calculate. That was a very easy question, but tricky one, right? So, today we will solve some different types of numerical ability problems, right? Okay. So let us start with some different type of problems. Okay. So let me change the color of this thing. So here the table has been given. Okay. So here we are having the batsman, his average, okay, and then standard deviation has been given. Okay, so we are having K batsman, L batsman, M batsman, and N batsman. Okay, so we are having four batsmen. Okay, so here we are having the average of 31.2, then 46.0, then 54.4, then 17.9. Okay, and the standard deviations are 5.21, then 6.35, then 6.22, and 5.90. Okay, so the question is the statistics of runs scored in a series by four batsmen are provided in the following table. Okay. So, who is the most consistent batsman for out of these four batsmen? Okay. So, you have to find out which batsman is consistent one out of these four batsmen. Okay. The average has been given along with the standard deviation. So, put your thought and tell me the answer. So for that purpose, you must know the relationship of the standard deviation. Okay. So basically, your average, or if you calculate the mean of some sample points. Okay. Let us say for a set of x1, x2, up to xn. Okay. So this mean, okay, x bar is nothing but you are adding all the parameters in the set x1 plus x2 up to xn upon the count of this one. Okay, so this gives a more significant value, right? And what is standard deviation? Okay, so deviation d1 is nothing but So from first value, you are subtracting the mean. B2, second value, you are subtracting the mean. Means it gives me basically by how much amount the current value x1 or x2 or x3 or any value in the set is deviated by how much amount from the mean, right? So that is what is the implication of the deviation, right? Okay. So what is your thought regarding with this one? Who is the most consistent batsman amongst the four? You can comment in the chat box also. Yes. How do you justify the answer? The answer for this particular question will be if the standard deviation is less. Okay. So there will be less deviation. Hence, the batsman is more consistent. Okay. So lesser is the standard deviation, means more consistency. Just a minute. Okay, so that gives me more consistency. So out of these four, what you need to do is you need to find for which batsman the standard deviation value is less, right? So this is 5.21, this is 6.35, 6.22, and this 5.90. Out of this value is less, hence this key batsman is more consistent. Have you got this question? Okay. So here your statistical knowledge is tested. Okay, right? Okay. So coming to the next question. Okay, we will take all sorts of problems so that you could be familiar with each and every problem that could be asked in the GATE examination. Okay. So here the series has been given. Okay. So 12, then 35, then 81, 173, then 357. Okay, and what would be the next number that you have to calculate? Okay, so these numbers have been given in the series, and you have to calculate what could be the number and the question mark. Okay, so just think about it. Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes, and then we could move to the solution for this one. Yes, you have to correlate. See, whenever such problems are means asked in the examination, you just need to find out, the relationship between the numbers. Okay, what is the relationship of 12 with 35, then to 81, then to 173. Okay, sequentially, or sometimes you have to think whether first and third are correlated, then third and fifth are correlated, or whether the second and fourth are correlated. Okay, so likewise, you have to put your logic for calculation of these two. Okay. So you can put any thought. Okay. There is okay. I have not given options. Okay. So this is a numerical ability type question. There are no options, but still I will verify. Okay, the answer given by there is yes. So what is the logic there is that you have used to solve this question? Would you like to comment? You are correct. What is the logic you have applied? Yes, there is the relationship of 12 with 35. Okay, so how do I correlate this 12 to 35? So the nearest figure that I can have is 12 multiplied by 3 is 35, sorry, 36 minus 35. Okay, or 12 multiplied by 2 equals to 24 plus how much? 11 is 35. Okay, then I will apply the same strategy to 35. Okay, so in this one, so 35 multiplied by 3. So 5 3s are 15, 1, 105. Okay, minus 1, 104. No, there is no, we are having not this figure at the third place. We are having 81. So we will apply this logic. 35 multiplied by 2 is 70. And we have added 11. Okay, so it gives me 11. So this logic is working right now. Okay, so that is what is regarding with 35. So let's check for 81. 81 multiplied by 2, how much? 216 plus 11. So 3, 1. So we are going correct. Okay, so again 173 multiplied by 2, okay, plus 11. Okay, that gives me 357. Now I need to compute the figure at the question mark. So 370, sorry, 357 multiplied by 2. Okay, plus 11 is 725. Okay, so this is the answer. So likewise, you have to apply the logic. Okay, sometimes the figures are directly correlated. Sometimes odd places figures are correlated. Sometimes okay, if means uh, you have excluded figures. Okay, so likewise you have to apply firstly apply the logic and test whether your logic is working correct or not. Then and then only you could be able to apply, right? Okay, so the next question that we supposed to take is we are having an example. Okay, so a train, we are having a train. Okay, so the length of the train has been given 280 meters. Okay, and it is traveling at a uniform speed. Okay, so your velocity is uniform, right? And it crosses a platform, okay, in 60 seconds. Crosses platform in 60 seconds. Okay, and passes a man standing on the platform in 20 seconds. So there is a man, okay, at the platform. Okay, so it passes 20 seconds. And it passes complete platform in 60 seconds. Okay. Then by this data, it has been asked that what is the length, what is the length of the platform. Okay. So what has been given? The length of the train is 280 meters. It is traveling with uniform velocity. It crosses the platform in 60 seconds. There is a man standing on the platform. Okay, so the train crosses that person standing on the platform in 20 seconds. So by this data, you have to calculate what is the length of the platform. So you just think on this. Okay, we will move to the answer. Yes, anybody? Okay. Look here. So we will assume that, okay, so the length of platform will be x and train length is given as 280 meters. Okay. So you can now correlate. Okay. So the platform length plus train length. Okay. The platform length and train length. Okay. So it passes in 60 seconds with a uniform speed. Okay, so I can equate this with, okay, it passes 280 meters, that is the train length, it passes the man in 20 seconds. Okay, so train is traveling with uniform speed, so I'm equating these quantities. And so as to cross the platform, I'm considering the length of the platform along with the length of the train, and for that, 60 seconds are required. Okay, so only this train is passing, okay, to the man standing on the platform within 20 seconds. Okay, so you just simply have this analogy. Okay, so x plus 280 equals to 280 multiplied by 60.20. Okay, so this is 3. Then x equals to 280 multiplied by 3 minus 280. Okay, so x equals to 280 3 minus 1, x equals to 280 into 2, x equals to 560 meters. Okay, so what is important here? So as to equate those two equations, okay, so this factor is important over here. Okay, so train is traveling with uniform speed. So your speed is, the formula for speed is, what is the unit of velocity? Meter per seconds. Okay, so here we are having the distance, here we are having the time. So the distance to cross the platform is the platform length along with the train length. Okay, and the duration required for that, right? So as to pass the person standing on the platform, only train length is required. Okay, so 280 upon the time required to pass that person standing on the platform. That is why we have equated and we have put those values in the equation. Okay. So you must know what is the implication given over here. Okay. So due to the given data as the train is traveling with the uniform speed. Okay. So that is why we have equated these two parameters to calculate the equations. Right? Okay. Understood? Please give your feedback in the chat box so that it would be very convenient for all of us. Have you got this question? Okay, great. So I request all the attendees to give the feedback every time when we complete the question, because understanding is very important, because we are taking different problems so that you could be familiar with what kind of problems can be asked and what could be our approach to solve that problem, right? That is what is important. Okay. So we will take one more example. So here we are having a rectangular die. Okay. It has 6 sides with the number its side. Okay. If a very large number of throws show, okay, of the following frequencies of occurrence. Okay. So one is having 0.167, two is having 0.167, three is having 0.152, four is having 0.166, five is having 0.168, and six is having 0.180. Okay, so sorry, mistakenly what I have done is it is not rectangular, it is a regular die. Okay, not rectangular die. So we have to decide whether it is rectangular or not. Okay, so a regular, okay, so a regular die has 6 sides with the numbers 1 to 6. Okay, and when if a very large number of throws show with the following frequencies. Okay, so we are having the frequencies of occurrence for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in this way. So you have to decide, okay, whether the die is irregular or biased or Gaussian and insufficient. Okay, so we are having a regular die. Okay, so think on that. Okay, so frequencies of occurrence of those numbers has been given. You have to decide. Okay, we means what sort of die it is. Okay, have you got this question? So, frequency of occurrence of number one, and the number two, number three, number four, number five, and number six has been given. Okay, so you have to decide, okay, whether it is irregular or biased or Gaussian or insufficient. Okay, so for this, okay, for a very large number of throws, okay, the frequency should be same for unbiased throw. So as it's not saying die is biased. Okay. So if you throw means for a very large number of throws, okay, the frequency should be same for unbiased. So all the parameters here would have same value if it is unbiased. But here we can observe that all the values are different. That is why this particular die is biased one. Okay, so the correct answer for this is the biased. Okay, right? Then. Then again, we will come back to one more example regarding the series. Now, previously what we have done is we have calculated the last unknown value. Okay. So in this series, we have to calculate the middle value, right? So I will just write down the series. We are having the numbers 2, then 3, then 6, then 15. Okay, here you have to compute what is the value. Okay, then also we are having 157.5 and 630. Okay, so in the series, you have to compute for this missing value. So again, you can take 2 minutes to think on, okay, means in what way they have been arranged and what could be the possible solution. Okay, so your logic is very, very important over here. So the previous question and this question can be asked for one. Up to this, it seems very good, but the difficulty of the question arises when we see this particular figure. You should be very cautious about if you look at this figure, then you have to apply your logic. Okay, because this figure is creating the confusion in this particular problem. Other figures are very straightforward. Okay. So what could be the possible solution for this one? So I will give you the answer. I'll rewrite the things. Put X over here. Okay, so the very straightforward logic for this one is to ensure what kind of relationship is there between two successive numbers. For example, if I take 2 and 3, then 3 and 6, then 15 and X, and this figure. Okay. So, relationship between 2 and 3. So what could be the possible outcomes? It is 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay, then 2 multiplied by 2 minus 1 is 3, and so on. Okay, so if I do the same thing for 3, 3 plus 1, 4. Okay, so it is not the solution. Then 3 multiplied by 2 minus 1, then it should be 5. Then this is also not solution. So this logic went wrong, right? Then how can you think of? Because 3 multiplied by 2 is 6. But here again 6 multiplied by 2. Okay, so that logic is not basically means applicable over here. So you have to think in a different way so that Okay, you could be able to establish the relationship between 2 and 3, and same has to work with 3 and 6. Okay, so see, there's relationship between this 2 and 3. Okay, so we will find out uh, the multiplication factor basically. So 2 multiplied by y equals to 3. So what is the value of y? It should be 1.5. Am I right? Then when establish the relationship between 3 and 6, so the multiplication factor is 2. Okay. But if you go again with 6 and 15, so 15 divided by 6, so you can get to then 12, okay, 3, 2.5. So you can observe that the multiplication factor, okay, is starting with 1.5 and it is gradually increasing with zero point 0.5, 1.5 plus 0.5, 2. Okay, this one, then 2 plus 0.5 is 2.5. Okay, then again this has to be increased with 0.5. Okay, then again this has to be increased with 0.5, and then this has to be increased again with zero point 0.5. Okay, so for this we are having 1.5 to 2.5, then 3, sorry, then we must have 3. Okay, then 3.5, because here x is unknown, we are going to test our logic whether we are proceeding correct or not. Am I right? Okay, so here ultimately it goes with 4. Okay, so let us test whether we are going correctly or not, because it could be very easy to calculate the multiplication of 4 with this number should give me 630. So 157.5 multiplied by 4. So 4 5s are 0, 2. So 5 4. Yes. So we have got this 630. So our logic is working correctly. Now, what I need to do is this x can be calculated, okay, by multiplying 15 with 3. Am I right? So 15 multiplied by 3, it is 45. Okay, are you getting? So let us check whether 45 multiplied by 3.5, okay, is 157.5 or not. You just verify this and comment in the chat box. Okay, then we will confirm that our logic is working correctly. Is it correct? Just verify. Yes, right? So you have got this answer. So in this way, also you can think. So the multiplication factor always not a constant figure. Then it would become a very simple problem. Okay. Now here, what you have observed is you have to establish the relationship between two successive numbers, and also you need to find out whether there is an increment or decrement. If there is an increment, then by which factor it has been incremented, or if there is a decrement, then by which factor that sequence is decremented or not. Okay, so all the times you have to find out, and you have to complete the whole task within 2 minutes only. This is the most important thing, right? So once you practice such questions, then you can have a best bank of logic for such series problems, right? So you can quickly, by looking at the problem itself, you can you should be in a position that what logic that has to be applied to that problem, and that could be only possible if you have more and more practice, right? Okay, so moving again to the next type of question. Okay, so here they have given the sum of eight consecutive odd numbers. Consecutive odd numbers. Okay, is 656. Okay, the sum has been given. The average of first four consecutive even numbers. Average of even is 27. This has given. Then it has been asked, what is the sum of the smallest odd number and the second largest even number? Okay. Sum of, okay, smallest odd number plus second largest even number. Okay. So this question is quite tricky one, and this will be asked for 2 marks. Okay. So what is given to you? Sum of eight consecutive odd numbers is 656, and average of first four consecutive even number is 87. And what has been asked? You have to calculate the sum of smallest odd number plus the second largest even number. Okay, so just think of the problem. Okay, and we will see what could be the answer. So there are no options for this particular question. This is numerical ability type question. Yes, any input? Is my voice audible? So what you have to do is you have to think there are eight odd numbers. Okay, consecutive odd numbers are given. Okay, so what you have to think is so your A is one of the odd number. Okay, then what are the possible odd numbers? Okay, so if A is the odd number, then A plus 1 is the even number. Okay, so I can have A plus 2, then A plus 3, sorry, A plus 3. Means if I take odd added with odd, okay, suppose 3 added with 3, that gives me even number. Okay, right? So then A plus 4, then A plus 6, A plus 8. How many numbers are there? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then here A minus 2 is also odd number. Then A minus 4. Okay. And A minus 6. Okay. So how many numbers? Sorry. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So the sum of all these numbers is 656. Okay. So A minus 6 plus A minus 4, right? Okay. Then A minus 2 plus A plus A plus 2, then plus A plus 4 plus A plus 6 plus A plus 8 is 656. Now you can complete for this one. This so what is the value? Yes, anybody? Yes, Rajput Dheeraj Singh is saying is 81, right? Okay, so let me rub this so that we can have some space left over here. So have you understood the logic? Means in what way we have represented this one? Okay, so ultimately we have calculated and Dheeraj is saying the value that we got as A equal to 81. Okay, so now we can have 81, then 83, 85, then 87 and 89. Okay, if you put the value of A in the previous sequence, then 79, then 77 and 75. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can also compute addition of this, all these values give me 656. Okay, so what has been asked, once we have got the series, then it is very okay for all of us. The odd number is 75. So 75 plus. Okay. The second largest even. So average of first four consecutive even number, okay, is 87. Okay. So again we have to think of for the same. So I'm having even number as A, then A plus 2, then A plus 4, then A minus 2. Okay. Divided by 4, it gives me 87. Okay. So if I remove this from this place, okay. So this plus. Okay, so this minus 2 plus 2 gets cancelled. So this 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4a equals to 87 multiplied by 4 minus 4. So what is the value of a, Dheeraj? 87. 87. Okay. So if I put this a over here, not 87, I guess. So 86 now.
Yes, sir. 86 is A.
Ah, so because what happens is A equals to C, 87 multiplied by 4 divided by 4 minus 4 divided by 4. So this gives me this 4 gets cancelled. 87 minus 1, that is 86. है ना? So if I put 86 over here, then we can have 84, 86, 88 and 90. है ना? So what has been asked? Sum of second largest even number. So second largest even number is 86. Put 86 over here. 6, 5, 11, and this again 8, 161. So this is what is the answer. Am I right? है ना? Am I correct? Okay, great. Such things you have to take into account because what happens is if you take see what is the logic in such problems is so whenever you are thinking of some numbers, okay, which you have to assume, then you have to take those numbers like in a sequence, like suppose numbers. So what you have to think, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 numbers, and in between this one, okay. So assume this as A and add, okay, the numbers for this one. Okay, so you have to take this minus also because what is the beauty of this particular logic is you can also take A plus 4, A plus 6, A plus 7, sorry, A plus 8, A plus 10, A plus 12, and so on. That is also correct, but here you can directly cancel these terms, okay, while addition. So it will become more easy for us to calculate the things, right? Okay. So what is the type of this question? In this type of question, what you have to do is first you have to find out the first series, then you have to find out the second series, and based sorry the second series is then you have to find out the numbers as given in the question and add them or subtract them or multiply them as far as the question has been asked and find out the relevant answer. Right? Okay. So this whole process you have to complete within, 2 or 3 minutes, not exceeding 2 minutes. Okay, right? So we'll take one more time. Okay. So there is one question. A man can row. The man is rowing a boat. Sorry, a man can row at 8 kilometers per hour. Okay, in still water, right? Okay. It takes him time as long to row upstream. Okay, so it if it takes thrice as long, okay, when he row upstream, okay, as to downstream. Okay, then we need to find what stream velocity. Okay, stream velocity in kilometer per hour. Okay, so the problem is asked for 2 marks. What you have to do is in still water, in still water, sorry, in still water, a man can row at a speed of 8 kilometers per hour. Okay, now if you compare upstream and downstream, okay, so if okay, then the downstream. Suppose in downstream we are having it, then it takes him to go in upstream twice. Okay, then we have to calculate the stream velocity. Okay, so how? Just think this question. I'll read out once again. A man can row at a 8 kilometer per hour in still water. Okay, it takes him twice as long to row upstream as compared to row downstream, then you find the stream velocity in kilometer per hour. Okay, in still water there is no stream. First, take in mind. Okay, so upstream and downstream. Okay, so downstream. It is very convenient for us because the flow of water. Okay, depending upon the flow of water, it is very convenient for us for downstream. But in upstream, it is quite difficult. So it takes him twice than that of downstream. So we have to find out the stream velocity. Okay, so the still water, you can use for reference and find out in what way you can use the solution for this particular problem. So this is quite a tricky question, and such question can be asked for 2 marks. Okay. See, how we can utilize this 8 kilometer per hour. Okay, so your velocity is distance by time. Okay, so this 8, right, equals to the distance traveled divided by time. Okay, so this time taken, okay, is d by 8. Understood? Up till now, this is clear. Okay, the speed of stream is equal to s. Okay, so upstream, we will consider. So I'll take next page. So upstream. we will consider this as S dash, right? So uh, we can equate, or we can think this S dash would be 8 minus S, because you are flowing against the stream, right? So that's why we have subtracted the still water stream from the speed of the stream. Okay, so the upstream time would be the same distance he has to travel, okay, upon the velocity, okay, 8 minus S. Okay, for downstream, okay, so for downstream, we are having T double dash or S double dash. It is H plus S, because still water, velocity in addition to the stream velocity, है ना? Because in still water the speed of man is 8 km per hour, and in downstream it is flowing with the stream. That is why we have added this parameter to this one. So, so this time downstream it is plus S. Okay. Now, condition given in the problem is your T double dash is equals to 3T dash. Because in downstream it is very convenient, but for upstream it is taking thrice of the time for this upstream, right? Okay. So if you multiply 3 times for the upstream, then it will become the time in downstream, right? Because this time is slow, because you are traveling against the stream, right? Okay, so just put these values over here. D upon a plus S equals to D upon, sorry, 3D upon 8 minus S. Okay, so this gets cancelled, and this is 8 minus S equals to 24 plus 3S. Okay, so this 4. Okay, how much is the answer? What is the answer for this one? Have I missed it? Am I correct? 4S, sorry, 4S and this 60, so S 4 km per hour. Am I correct? Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the stream is ultimately, if you take the magnitude of the stream, that is 4 km per hour. So what is the trick over here is, if you are so the stream is in this direction, and if you are rowing in this particular one, then automatically the time required the larger one. Okay? But if the stream is in this way, okay, and you are also rowing in this one, then time required would be very less, and your speed is high, because the relationship between velocity and time is inversely proportional. Okay, so what you have to think is, whenever he is traveling in upstream, then you have to subtract the stream, okay, from the still water. Okay, and whenever you are dealing with the downstream, then you have to think the still water velocity along with the stream, right? So the distance traveled is same, only the time relationship they have given that, okay, in upstream it requires thrice than that of the downstream. Hai na? So in this way you have to think. If you see this problem, then it seems very difficult, but if you try to analyze that, how we can utilize the factor given for this still water. Okay, because everywhere the formula for speed will be same. Okay, only you have to establish the relationship between the upstream and downstream. Okay, by means of this still water velocity, because the distance traveled is same. Okay, only there is a time constraints and the velocity constraints, right? Understood? So that's it for today. Okay, we will again arrange the session for tomorrow, I guess, right?